Okay, here we go.
Rock it. Come on.
The same freaking Alpha Destiny hitting a push-up with all his might. Okay. Now, I'm thinking to myself, holy buckets. This could be interesting. Now, listen, the video is 15 minutes long. I'm not going to go through the whole video here. And frankly, okay, I don't want to be copy struck or whatever the frick it's called. Hence why I have this particular setup. You can't tell me that I'm, freaking using your, footage unfairly. This is some fair freaking use here, boys. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give my thoughts. Now, first and foremost, major respect to both these individuals. Alpha Destiny, I guess he goes by Alex Leonidas now. He took a lot of people's feedback to change the name Alpha Destiny. A tad bit childish at the times, but of course he was very young, I think, when he started it. And his mind, he wanted to be a freaking alpha male. You know what I'm saying? And the word alpha was kind of like new and cool and trendy, like I feel like in 2010 or something around there. Maybe that's when he started his channel. I'm not quite sure. But he's built his channel up well. I know he's done a lot of conjugate, West Side shit. I'm sorry, boys. Okay, now we're going to have to... Terrible. Okay, here we go. We're right back to it. We're right freaking back to it. We're kicking and ticking on full cylinders. Okay. So I'm thinking this guy, he was big into bands, big into chains, big into partial movements and all that kind of stuff. Haven't kept up too much on how he's training now. And I've seen some stuff from Dr. Mike, okay? Dr. Mike, I haven't watched too much of his stuff either. I just saw one video that was highly recommended because of the freaking, how trendy Sam Sulek is. And he was critiquing his form. And, he's going freaking horsing heavy hammer strength rows. And, of course, Dr. Mike here's like, well, ideally you want to have a squeeze and a stretch. Squeeze and slow down the eccentric for a stretch. And it's like, listen, Dr. Mike, obviously this guy's highly successful. I know tons of people that are doing like his app or whatever. I know he's got an app or something. I know a lot of people personally that use it, okay? In WWE that use it. So kudos to him. Much respect. So this is just my thoughts. This isn't, obviously, I'm not being negative or anything. I'm just going to give my thoughts. I haven't really watched this. I kind of scrolled through it and just said to myself, hey, people want me to kind of give my 2 cents? Let's freaking do it, okay? So I don't know what to expect with this. So,
come on.
I'll just kind of do it this way. I'll go through kind of...
How you feeling? I'm feeling great, Mike. Happy to be here.
Feeling great, Mike. Right.
To your pecs. And lastly, if you have really good technique, it puts your pecs in a real safe position, shoulders in a real safe position, nice and retracted, chest up.
I mean, there's not too much to say here. I do find it out. He's got a pretty big arch in his back, which is not a big... I think that's how you bench for horsepower, to move big weights. But his whole thing is about like optimal joint angles and things of that sort. So I'm just curious why Dr. Mike, for instance, wouldn't recommend, being a bit more like, you would get a bigger range of motion if you weren't like this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, look at your elbow angle. You know what I'm saying? Here, because you're in this bench, and I know you're using your back, you're using your lats, and you're this optimal range for strength. Like look at here versus if I was flat. It's a pretty big difference in terms of range of motion. Maybe I should listen to him talk. I'm just giving my 2 cents. Let's hear it.
The stimulus to fatigue ratio of the barbell bench press can be incredible if you use good technique.
Just nerd lingo.
That should be going toward the ceiling the whole, so you're not caving at all. So you should be...
Analysis causing paralysis by analysis. That's the first thing I'm getting. Boy, oh boy, we're really overthinking. Like Alex, for instance, obviously on his channel has been benching forever, right? He did like a powerlifting thing. He hit some state record or something. I don't know. Clearly the guy knows how to bench press. So the fact that we're coaching him to bench press one plate already, this is, I think, kind of the problem with YouTube in general. It's like people are so starved for content that we're analyzing literally every freaking detail. Like, okay, we're gonna put one plate on, and now we want to, get this engaged. And you don't want to just go down. You want to go at an arc. And when you press up, you want to press. You know what I'm saying? So now when people like real beginners and noobs and stuff like that are benching, they're freaking boggled. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I'd say, press it. Okay, just press. Touch the chest, press up. Okay, and as they get a little bit more advanced, they're like, maybe if I engage my back and I'm going up and down, and you kind of you're just lifting weights. I feel like we're turning lifting weights into rocket science.
Eating the bar, and then even as you press up, even more of the pecs to the ceiling.
Okay, and it's like a soft touch. So I'm not holding it. Like I'm not resting it. I'm holding
it's a soft.
What are we talking?
Like I said, man, it's gonna make it feel way fucking heavier.
It's gotta be perfect.
Technique over ego lifting. So I think the whole point of this channel here is like anti-ego lifting. 1, 2, 3, pause.
Yes, sir.
2,
chest.
3,
Yeah.
pause. Okay, this is basically just doing tempo. You know what I'm saying? Charles Poliquin coined tempo training. Okay. It's usually, that's just as cookie cutter as it comes, right? 3 second negative, pause, explode, explode up. I've done the tempo training as well. When I first discovered it, like from Charles Poliquin 15 years ago or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, it makes so much sense to slow because you get more stimulus and you have to use less weight and it's going to be safer on the joints. And the pause and the explosiveness, sure. But when I was doing that, boys, I was freaking weak, okay? I was weak, all right? Why? Now, you know what made me, I was weak at that point. You know what made me strong was a powerlifting coach, basically, just kind of teaching me how to squat, bench, deadlift, whatever, and just shooting for bigger numbers, right? Obviously, again, there's somewhere in the middle. It's not black, it's not white. Like, should you always train like this? Personally, I think you're gonna not enjoy training as much. I think you have to have a relative sense of control the weight, but at the same time, if you're literally counting your reps, right, it just feels so freaking boring. I think you have to horse big loads. Okay, obviously don't bounce them off your chest, but unrack it, control it down, explode, control it down, explode. Leave the freaking tempos and the paralysis by analysis, like with the one freaking plate on, right? It's just lift weights, just have fun. Consistency is what's going to lead to the biggest gains. Now, if you did this every training session, right, this tempo versus, okay, maybe today I'm not going to do 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, right, with this form. Maybe I'm just going to unrack it and just blast up see how many reps I can get as possible, or see how heavy I can get today, okay? As opposed to, I gotta do my tempo training. What do you think the difference is gonna be in terms of progression, right? I would say they're gonna be pretty freaking even Stevens. Now, who's gonna wanna do this training versus, okay, today I'm gonna challenge myself and do 225 for as many reps as I can do, or I'm gonna try to hit 5 more pounds on the bench today. That sounds exhilarating. That sounds fun. That sounds like I can keep, staying hungry and motivated to get to the gym. Whereas this just sounds like a chore, right? This is a chore. This is what you do when you're in the college weight room and you're like, all right, what's next, coach? You're like, okay, I want a set of 5 with a 3 second negative. And it's like, you're just putting in the work in, which is great. Like, yes, obviously it works too. But my point is, fellas, like, I feel like this Renaissance periodization is really becoming a go-to authority, which is great because obviously Dr. Mike's teaching great stuff. But my point is, I feel like a lot of people are going to start to be held back because they're going to be so freaking hyper-focused on the technique, the breathing, the eccentric and all that, again, they're holding themselves back. Fellas, and I'm only speaking from experience, that I did this with the Charles Poliquin training 15 years ago. And it was like, okay, tempo. But I'm like, man, I'm hardly using any weight. I mean, I don't think your CNS, your stimulus or your freaking, optimal joint angle, muscular fatigue with this. But I don't think your CNS is getting any stronger, right? There's something about just horse cocking big weights. Check this video out.
I can only lift the 40 from here to here, but I can lift the 80 from here to here. Shouldn't I get the 80s, cheat a little bit to get to this mid-range,
You think
and then
so?
pump out reps,
Nah.
and then put it down?
Yeah.
If we're saying we lift the 80 from here to here,
Yes.
that can be the same amount of internal muscular force as the 40 from here to here, but the only reason the 80 is liftable from here to here is just the leverage advantage. Your muscles are pulling just as hard at that stretch position. The internal force generated per fiber is ultra high with the 40 from here to here, just as high as the 80 from here to here. Here's the real kicker. Muscles seem to grow even better when they produce maximum internal per fiber force at a stretch position.
God!
Stretch plus tension.
It all makes
tends to cause
sense.
more growth than just tension without a stretch.
So I have to use the 20-pound dumbbells to get peak growth because of the stretch. Okay, listen. This is just my take, boys. Obviously, here's how I see it, and personally, I think I'm right here. Why not? Why is everything black and white? Why the frick does everything have to be one or the other? Again, the answer's somewhere in the middle. Why don't we grab the, you say he's like the 40s versus the 80s. How about we start with the 10s, okay? And get the stretch, and get the contraction, right? And then we go to the 20s, same, perfect, same. 30s, same, perfect. 40s, because that's what he's saying is, the stretch. Now we go to the 50s, okay? You're getting a little bit more sway in there. Now we go to the 60s, okay? A little bit more sway. Now we go to the 70s, sway. 80s, sway, okay? Now, here's how I see it. I've done so many cheat curls in my time, boys, and he's talking about the stretch is the best for the peak growth. I don't know if this, listen, again, no disrespect. All the respect in the world to him. I'd love to collab with him at some point if that's possible. I would love to. I think our two brilliant genius minds could really, freaking shoot magic at each other. You know what I mean? But I've done 150-pound, crappy, terrible form cheat curls, like, what I'm saying, with dumbbells, like, where you don't get any squeeze at the top, where it's just swinging, swinging, swinging. The stretch with that weight, boys, because you're using momentum basically to get here, and then you freaking stretch like up the wazoo. Now, if we're talking about safety, then yeah, it's probably a lot less safe to stretch you with 150 pounds. But my biceps were never in my life as sore using the lighter weights, this versus when I was hoisting those freaking cheat reps. Like, oh my God, that stretch was intense. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. Like, would I ever do that again? No, I'm older. I've learned my lesson with that extreme. That's essentially ego lifting. And I've done it all, boys. Like I said, the Polican tempo, the ego, the strict bodybuilding. I've done it all. And that's why I feel like I can really kind of be an authority on this. So why not do the 40s with the peak form, keep working up, use the sway, go up to the 80s or so, and then when you're using that bigger weight, yeah, maybe if even, let's say, the biceps aren't freaking getting the peak tension the same as they are with the 40s, but your freaking grip is going to be working, just pure cojones to grip and rip the big boys, forearms up the wazoo. Once you start using that little bit of this swing, your delts, your traps, all that stuff is just hoisting heavy iron, heavy, hot iron. It feels incredible, right? And then, because your CNS is freaking primed from hoisting the big boys, you drop back down. I guarantee you can grab those 50s and move them with the same effort that you could do the 40s, okay? That never seems to be a part of the argument here, is there's really something to be said about priming up the CNS, where it's always like, you gotta use lightweight and, and pinch and pause and explode in 3, 2, 1, pause, up, okay? You're never gonna freaking peak the nervous system the same as when you're horse cock and giant weights, you know what I'm saying? Feeling weight that way. And then you drop back down to that lightweight and it's like, oh my God, I can do this for double the reps. You know what I'm saying? So it's not one or the other. Why not just do both? So that video, while he may have a point that the peak contraction is the same as using leverage to get from here to here, using lightweight to go from here to here, how much extra time does it take just to do both? 40s, bump up. 60s, bump up, 80s, drop back down. Now I'm at the 50s with just as good form as the 40s. You guys get what I'm saying?
Beautiful. Come on. Shit. Here we go. Last one.
Your chest. Feeling.
Go. Whoa. Whoa. Oh man.
Good shit.
Humbling.
It's very humbling, and but it just goes to show you don't need that much.
Totally.
Humbling. You don't need that much. Frick, guys. You're like, yeah, you could have 0 pounds for the lateral. Like, you could do this with 0 pounds, and if you're holding it for long enough, or 2 pounds and moving at a snail's pace. Like, oh my God, that's hard. But again, I think we're missing out on the factor, like, how about strengthening like the nervous system, feeling the heavy weights? Like, I don't know how many total reps I think they cut when he was doing that, but say he did like, I don't know, maybe say he did 5 or 8 reps, super slow reps. Oh my God, like does that make it better than putting more weight, like putting the same weight on there and just banging out like a set of 30? Like, fellas, my chest is killing me today. And you know what I did? I did a set of 225, as many reps as possible. I was banging them like this, okay? This form. And then I know if I upload it, people are gonna say, half reps, not a single rep. It's like, brother, anyone that's really jacked, really strong, has an awesome bench press, that's literally how they rep it, okay? I've never seen the jacked people go, oh, lock up. Oh, lock up. You know what I'm saying? It's always put horse cock the weight, throw the weight on, boom, boom, boom. Just pump as many as you can. Okay? I know Larry Wheels did like what? 70 or 80 reps or something. I think he did 70 reps with 225. That's how he presses it, right? There's another dude, I can't find his name. I'll make an upload about it, but a guy had like a 675 pound bench or something. Same thing. 225 for 80 reps or something like that. Done in the same fashion, right? That's how all these freaking super stacked and jacked guys do it. Now, who knows, like, what's more optimal doing? For Alex to do, 10 reps, super slow, super humbling, or to do that on and go freaking 30 pumping out, He's explosively trying to get as many reps as possible, okay? I'll tell you what's going to make him feel more confident that he's a jacked stud horse is saying, I did 225 for 30, right? Put 315 on it, guarantee I can hit it for 15, right? As opposed to, I can only do 225 for 10. At the end of the day, it's also a freaking mindset, boys, right? If you believe that you're strong, you're probably going to have a better chance of being strong than say, well, I can only do 135 for 5 reps, but my negative is ultra controlled, and I pause. I don't ego lift like other people at the gym that are doing no pause and not controlling their eccentric. You get what I'm saying? Frick.
And when you do it,
Let's move on. What do we got here?
Hell yeah. So, chest up.
Look at
You
this.
do this. Totally.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. But the pecs open up if you do this and they get a big stretch. So you start.
You know what I find funny about
there's a
this?
straight line to your face that goes all the way through to the outside of your shoulders. Start here, open up, elbows out. Reach big at the bottom to get really between your own hip. These dumbbells stay right
Paralysis by
under your
analysis.
chest
Grab the dumbbells
to
and
your
press them.
bicep. Right. Get that little pause for a sec, and then curve back up. Big reach, curve back up.
The amount of pencil necks that watch this are like, oh my
like
god.
somewhat of a neutral grip,
Oh my
I'm still getting a
god.
stretch if I'm out here, right?
Grip should be okay. Just make
It's
sure.
more so the range of motion.
Yeah,
I'm getting
more
numbed
coming to the
out.
shoulders especially. Like, I'm not gonna say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me see what feels good, because when you're warm, it changes things as well.
How is
Good
chest?
chest, good chest, good chest.
And then press. X.
You want to see something?
Oh.
Okay.
Look at this contraption
Let me see
right
what feels
here.
good, because
Yeah.
when you're warm,
Look at this
it changes
contraption
things as
right
well.
here. And then look,
Chest.
jump cut. I guess they don't want to show that. If you're talking about cutting out ego lifting, This thing right here is the ultimate freaking assister of ego, right? You probably shouldn't be pressing dumbbells that you can't. You know what I do? I farmers walk them from the rack, I put them on my knees, and I kick them up. If you can't kick them up and get them in a position, and you need people to hand you the dumbbells, or you need a freaking machine like this to hand you the dumbbells, that's freaking ego lifting in my opinion, okay? That's part of the process of using dumbbells. You gotta freaking handle the load. You need a machine to help you handle the load, so where's the talk on that, you know?
And then,
Look at these
oh yeah. One after another, just like that.
So big chest
Big
right
control.
there. Push your chest up. Now use the pecs.
Give me a
pecs.
guys.
Pecs.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Control, the chest up.
Use the pecs. Come on.
Yes.
Yep.
And again, you got the big arch in your back. Like, what about the arch in the back?
Slow.
Huge chest.
Control.
Huge chest, the biggest. Come on.
Push up and in.
Huge
Push in.
chest, the biggest. What are these cues? Huge chest. 65-pound dumbbells. Okay. I know me and Alex aren't the same size, but he's doing an incline bench. 65-pound dumbbells. Oh, huge chest. Push it up. Oh my god. Okay. I'll freaking see. So let's say, because I'm heavier than him, that's like me doing 95s or something like that with this form. What am I going to benefit more from? 95-pound dumbbells or 150s? You know what I'm saying? I'll tell you what's a lot more fun. What's going to keep me wanting to come back to the gym? Using the 150s. You think grabbing these tiny freaking, you think these tiny dumbbells, like that's fun? It's not. Fellas, lifting, it's the long game. And I get like protecting the joints and all that, but like, as long as you kind of know like, hey, maybe I shouldn't half rep it. I shouldn't have spotters handing me dumbbells I can't handle on my own, like that kind of stuff. I think you won't get hurt. Like, this is just, I mean, I guarantee so many noobs are going to try this. Oh, man, like, you don't need to use heavy weight. You just got to do, this is, you know, oh, huge chest. Guys, just pick up some freaking weights and press them and strive to get the big boys up. Striving to get the big boys is going to make you more jacked and strong than anything. This shit, you're going to get sick of doing this after a year tops, right? When I was in the tempo training, I did it for a year with my little journal logbook, and I was like, this is stupid. I hate doing it. I did not look forward to lifting doing that. Well, I'm going to go do my... You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not fun. You got to enjoy what you do. If you enjoy it, like for me, for instance, fellas, I can't even remember the last time I'm taking a day off. I haven't taken a day off in forever, only unless I was forced to. Like, I'm literally traveling across the world and I don't have time to go to the gym. But even then, I'll find a way to go to the hotel gym and bang something out. Because I love doing it, because it's fun, it's enjoyable to freaking want to dominate the big boys and get jacked and stacked and succulent and dense. This is just... good luck following this for a long period of time.
Shit.
Shit, that was so hard. Well, yeah, obviously. How boring was that set?
It's such a difference, bro, right? Oh my god. So you like arching on the incline?
Shitload.
Really, eh?
Yeah. That's why we have varying degrees, right?
Exactly.
I can arch really fucking hard on the high incline and the degrees change a little bit, but the stretch is so much better for the back.
Oh, there's the app.
Chest is pretty fried by this point. We have bench, we have dumbbell press. Dips are going to be done low and slow, of course, with a nice pause at the bottom for a big stretch under tension.
Yeah, so you say, like, oh, our chest is fried. Like, your chest, listen, I promise you, even if you just do one exercise, flat bench, okay? You work up to a heavy single or something with, you know, not eagle lifting, not like partial or whatever, but unrack it, you know, grind that out. And then you drop down and you do an AMRAP. As many as you can. One exercise is all you need. I promise you that. Doing this horse crap, oh, man, do I feel that. Again, what's more fun? It's got to be enjoyable. If it's not enjoyable, you're not going to be consistent with it. If you're not consistent with it, that's the key, just consistency.
And Alex has done dips with, I believe, 4 plates hanging before, roughly this body weight. And this is going to be a big, big difference because we're asking him to go slow on the way down. We're asking him to get a deeper stretch than usual. We're doing it after 2 exercises, 6 working sets of quite difficult chest work. And he might actually only have to use like 45 or something like that.
So you went from using 4 plates to 1 plate. And again, well, the slow and the stimulus, and it's better for the, protection of the joints and the intensity on the muscle doesn't know the weight. Like, if that's true, the muscle doesn't know the weight, I don't know, but the brain does, the freaking nervous system does. I'll tell you right now, using 1 plate, like, just everything. Like, when you use, it's no different. 1 plate. If you're using 4 plates, now you're freaking, you know what I mean? Like, your traps, your back, you're gripping the shit out of it, your forearms, like, your core, everything's just firing like a mother. Ugh! 1 plate's just like, okay. Oh. You know what I mean? This is like long, or it's like slow, steady cardio versus high intensity freaking sprinting. You know what I'm saying? It's like the difference. Like, you can't compare the two. You cannot compare the two.
Look forward. Stop. That.
Okay, I mean, this is just like high school wrestling practice, you know what I mean? Just hold a push-up, go side to side, right? Pulse it, hold it. Like, yeah, it's hard. Like, and guys, again, I'm not knocking any of this. I'm just giving my 2 cents with it. And I know people say, you try it. Yeah, I guarantee it's hard. That's not the point. The point is who's going to make better progress over the long run. The guy doing a, hour-long push-up because it's the same stimulus as horse cocking a 405-pound bench for 1 rep. You get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't think that, like, I love the fact that it's like about optimization of muscle recruitment and like this is, the perfect form. Like, and it's good. Beginners should learn how to like, engage their back when they're bench pressing. Like, that's important stuff. But making every rep so slow, I guarantee there's not a single super jacked, like, world record power lifter, strongman, any of those kinds of, like, legit strength that trains this way. You know what I mean? Because it's not going to get you strong. You're not going to get strong doing this. I guarantee you. Yeah, your muscles might, like, get just as big as they were if you're using heavy weight. They might, but you're not going to get as strong. And I think that that's the key, too. It's like, what do we train for? The people say, I just want to look like I can bench 500. I don't care if I actually can. That's because you're freaking weak. I guarantee it. You wish you could bench 500, right? I guarantee it. If people could lift heavy, they would, because lifting heavy is fun. It's like a sign of like dominance. Like that's what we train for, is to be strong. Strength is like grip strength, for instance, is correlated with like health, longevity, functionality, like athleticism and stuff. Like, you have to be explosive. You have to be strong. I mean, how many athletes do you think are watching this? I'm like, oh man, yeah, I don't want to get injured on the field. This is how I should train. But they're not going to have that freaking pop, you know what I mean? That explosiveness if they train like this. I guarantee it.
How unimpressive it looks emotionally. People expect like a fucking war, and you're just like,
Yeah, how unimpressive it looks. If you feel like you're doing stuff that's unimpressive and everyone's looking at you like, oh, this guy's weak. He's weak. It's just like, it's just, listen, man, like, you gotta want to do it. If you're going to go to the gym every day and do unimpressive stuff, like, I feel like that's part of the fun of going to the gym. It's like, yeah, I'm getting bigger. I'm getting stronger. Like, as I get stronger, people are like, holy buckets, look at that horse cock. That's the fun of going to the gym. You know what I mean? You want to go to the gym and fail at 1 push-up because you're like, people are watching, you're like, oh, this guy's jacked. Like, let's see what he does. And it's like 1 push-up. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? Like,
Overall, this is a body built by the old school basics. The flat barbell bench press, incline double bench press, weighted dip, literally stuff that I always do. We did it today, but with an extra emphasis on getting more out of less weight.
so you're saying he's built his chest by the basics, barbells and dumbbells, okay? Yeah, dips and push-ups and all that. Did he build it with this slow crap, though? You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. Would he have been as committed to the game if he was doing? I guarantee you, Alex is not going to continue training this way. Guarantee you, right? Because again, I've lived it. I've done it. It's like, oh man, you don't need much weight. That's really hard. But you're not going to stick with it because it's freaking boring, right? Lifting, the fun in lifting is the passion to hoist heavy iron, right? To freaking feel like you're just, climbing the totem pole of dominance. You're getting big, you're getting jacked, you're getting strong, right? Fellas, this is not it. I'm telling you. So that's the gist of it, guys. Obviously, much love to Dr. Mike. I guarantee you he doesn't even train this slow. This is like what you do with, listen, I was a personal trainer, okay? I was a strength coach many moons ago. And this is the type of stuff when you have a client and it's like, you really want to show them that they don't know anything. This is like what you do. It's like, okay, listen here, Mr. Jones. Like, you've benched before, but you didn't bench right. Let's engage the scapula. Let's slow down the tempo. Let's pause. Like, oh my God, that's humbling, Eric. I've never felt anything like that before. It's like, this is personal training tricks just to be like, wow, this guy, I got to keep coming back to this guy because it's new and it's different. But at the end of the day, like Alex said, the basics work. You know what the basics are? Pick up the freaking weight and just press it, The tempo stuff's been around forever, okay? It obviously works, but again, like, it's not fun. And I don't think that people are going to stick with it. Again, it's not to knock Dr. Mike. I think he's awesome. I love watching his content, actually. This is probably the third video I've watched of his. His stuff's super fascinating. I like his videos. I support him. Again, this is just an open forum, basically. It's like people say, Eric, you're misconstruing Greg's advice on lifting heavy. It's like, brothers, I'm just going off of what I'm seeing and I'm adding to the conversation, okay? That's not to knock anyone. No disrespect to anyone. But when you're posting, so this is just, YouTube's an open forum, the fitness community. It's just like, let me build on what he's saying. Let me add my 2 cents to what he's saying. And people can add their 2 cents to what I'm saying too. By all means, I would love to hear what someone has to say in response to what I'm saying. Okay, with that being said, fellas, I'm going to horse some big weights. I'm going to feel good. I'm going to have fun. I'm going to love what I do. And then I'm going to be sad when it's over. I'm like, damn, I can't wait to go back tomorrow. And this is the weight I want to lift. And this is how many reps I want to lift it for. That's fun. That being said, fellas, I'm going to go to the gym now and get thick as frick.